Hello, I'm Lowell Martin, and this is MCC Today. Get ready, I'm off my meds. On today's show, we have Taylor Croley, Laureta Chislom, and me. It's going to be amazing.
Find your wings. It's more than just a hashtag.
It's the power of knowledge in our state-of-the-art classrooms.
It's skills training for a competitive job market.
It's the best nursing program in the state.
It's home runs, buzzer beaters, and the thrill of victory.
And MCC walks it up.
It's not just a hashtag. How do I know? Because I found my wings.
And we are here this morning with Miss Laureta Chislom. How are you doing?
Doing well, and yourself, Lowell?
You know, I'm doing well. It's a little rainy, but everything's going well.
That's it.
What more could we ask for?
Have a warm heart, and it warms up everything else.
It warms up everything else. Now, you are the Lifelong Learning Coordinator.
Yes, sir.
Here for Meridian Community College. What does that mean?
That's a great question, and sometimes I have to ask myself. But my job as the Lifelong Learning Coordinator is to get involved with the community, find out what community needs are, and find classes that can focus on what the community needs. Such as in the month of April, we have our Older American Month.
Okay.
Where we have a speaker and we engage persons that are older Americans. I'll be an older American this year because I'll be 50, to help them know about current events that are going on, things that might affect them like Medicare, drug prescriptions, and being able to help them find resources in the community that some people might not have.
You know, and I love the term lifelong learner. I use that in my college study skills class because I tell my students all the time, it's like, look, you are never going to stop learning. You are never going to stop needing new information because things change. They're constantly changes. They're constantly in flux. And I'm so glad that we have somebody that can try to keep up, take the pulse of the community and see what we need. What other things do you have coming up?
So this year, I try to get a couple new classes every year that people are interested in. So in February, we're going to have something called Blooms and Besties Floral Workshop, where we're going to do a live floral arrangement with a person that actually is a floral arranger. And this is going to be something that's going to be involved kind of Valentine's, and also you're going to make that live arrangement and take it home with you.
Okay.
What's the name? There's a new craft store here. When they first opened, I thought they were going to have like maybe a teaching class, but a class where they teach like different skills like sewing, pottery, floral design, but they don't. So this is something that I've been trying to get into, and I have a hard time finding someone, but I found someone that loves this, is going to bring this to MCC.
Well, now I didn't ask you about the last class for senior citizens that you were mentioning. Is there a fee for that?
No, it's going to be totally free.
So that one's free. How about this one, the Blooms and Besties?
It's going to be $65.
$65, and is it just one day?
It's going to be a 1-hour workshop on February 10th from 5:30 to 7:30.
Okay.
And what we're going to do, we're going to work with our persons to see if this is something that they really want to do, and if it is, we're going to have a continuous session that probably be longer. Okay. So sometimes you have to kind of gauge, see if people, this is something they really want to do over time, or it's just something that you want to do one time. So.
Well, and that is part of being, putting things out in the community, seeing what works, seeing what people think they need, and then making changes based on that, the information that you get.
Yes.
Anything else that's coming up?
Yes, sir. Well, this is a class that we've had at Workforce currently, but it's been transitioned over to my area. This is our entrepreneurship class.
Okay.
And this is for persons that might already be in business or persons that are interested in business to learn more about their finances, to learn more about business plans, and also case studies to be able to help them make their business successful. We want persons that start a business to be able to continue that business and not have something that allows them to not be able to be successful.
I remember a statistic. It's been a number of years ago, so it's probably not, it's changed. But they said that something like 90% of new businesses fail within the first couple of years, and it's because people, sometimes don't know what to do. It's not like you and I getting, hey, let's open a store, or let's do this.
Right.
You've got to sit down and think about the nuts and bolts of it.
Correct.
And so I can see where this would definitely come in handy.
And also this class includes 3 weeks of QuickBooks. So I think that's very important also to make a business successful.
Okay, and how much is that cost?
That class is going to be $250.
Okay, you said it's a 3-week class?
It's 12 weeks. It's going to be a 12-week class, and it's going to be held on Mondays from 6 to 9.
Okay. Anything else coming up?
I have other classes, but I want to tell you how to get to those classes.
Oh, yes, please.
So I try very hard to post all of our classes on our Facebook page and also on our website, on our workforce site, and also on Continue Ed. We have this beautiful book that
very nice
came
catalog.
out this year.
Okay.
It's posted, and if you have any questions or information, we are free to answer those questions if you call our office.
Okay. Now, how do you come up with new class? You say that you come up with things that you're going to try, and let's see how this works. How do you come up with, new ideas of what to offer? I know you say you go into the community, and how do you get that information, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, that's a great question. So I kind of like Facebook. I like to Google. I use Pinterest. And
my niece loves Pinterest.
One thing that I found is that you have to visit the community, go to different places and talk to people when you go there. And I try to always go to MCC van and use our MCC shirts and everything because people are attracted to it.
Sure.
So that kind of opens the conversation for me to ask them, have you ever attended any classes at Meridian Community College's Workforce Continuing Education? No, but I heard about it. What did you hear about them? What are some things that you want to do? What are some things that you've seen on TV or your niece in California is doing that we're not doing here? So that's my job to actually find an instructor in this area to be able to teach those classes and also make sure that instructor has what she needs and the students the supplies and everything. So it usually works out. So I'm kind of a scavenger.
Okay, yeah, well, that's how you have to do it, and get the information where you can. And I think you said with the Blooms and Besties, a store opened and they're not offering something that you decided, let's try to offer this and see what happens.
And also our evaluations that we give at the end of the class, we have good feedback. People let you know what they want to do and what they don't want to do. So that also helps. Okay.
Well, now, I know that when we talk about lifelong learning, it's not just about learning stuff that will benefit you in your jobs, as with the entrepreneurship. You said the Blooms and Besties, but it's learning to be active and learning to keep your mind active as long as you possibly can, and doing things, because sometimes life is not all work. Sometimes you gotta do something that benefits your soul and enriches you in other areas.
Well, last year we had a phenomenal amount of people that came out, and that's what they were saying. Due to COVID, I've been sitting in the house, I'm bored, I need something to do. So my job is to make sure that they have something that's going to be meaningful, and make sure that they have a safe environment. And I'm a person that likes to go around and I do something that I call a smile gauge to see, people's reactions during these classes.
Sure.
I had a lady, she's about 70-something years old, and she came to one of our cake decorating classes, and when I first saw her, she was looking like this. And I asked her, what's wrong? My daughter made me to come to this class because my husband just died and she think I need to get out the house. She has attended 3 classes since then. And guess what? She done have those arms folded.
Good.
She got a smile on her face, so that lets me know something is working.
Well, I have that when in the Success Center, you know, when I'm in there and there's a student in there and like, I don't want to be here, I'm here for study hall, or I'm here because they made me do it. And I'm like, that's not the attitude you want to have.
That's exactly right.
You know, you're here, let's make the best of it. Let's get stuff done.
That's
You know,
it.
what can we do to help you? And one more, now, in our regular classes, we have to have at least 10 students for the class to make. Do you have something similar to that in these, if you don't mind me asking?
I do, and it just depends on the class.
Okay.
I have a certain amount of students that has to make to be able to provide supplies, and a teacher for that class, I have to have a certain amount of students to make.
Okay. Well, Miss Laureta, I want to thank you for being here today, and I want to have you back because it's very important, and I just love to have you as a guest.
Yes, sir. No problem. I will be back.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Meridian Community College. For more than 75 years, we've helped students soar. Establishing the first tuition guarantee program in Mississippi, we put our students first while creating pathways into the workforce and offering a seamless transition to a 4-year degree. Now is the time to find your purpose and register today, because those who move forward never get left behind. MCC, find your wings.
And we have Miss Taylor Croley. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. This is your first time on the show.
It is.
You nervous?
I've been trying to make my way down here.
It's taken a while.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you are the Student Loan Officer and Technical Assistant.
Right. It's
Okay.
a little long.
It is a little long, but we were talking earlier, and you said that you've been doing this for 2.5 years.
Right.
How's everything going?
It's good.
Has the MCC family embraced you?
Oh,
or?
yeah. Well, I went to MCC a few years ago, so I just felt like I was jumping right back in. So,
Yes.
yeah.
I went to MCC many moons ago.
Me too.
myself. But now, so what does your job entail?
So it entails a lot. Just the basics include with like seeing students whenever they come in the office. The student loan part specifically, I help students talk about loan options if they're interested in that, in addition to just like regular financial aid. The technical assistant side is a little more technical, obviously, communicating back and forth with some of the federal parts of Department of Education about financial aid here at MCC.
And that's something I think a lot of people don't understand is like, you know, there's a lot that goes into this, you know,
right.
whether it's any type of financial aid, whether it's the Pell Grant, the student loan, there is a lot that goes into this.
Right.
And as we were talking, before the cameras went on, you know, where money is concerned, you're not going to be able to make everybody happy.
Right.
Just that simple.
Right. It would be nice, but in some cases, people just won't be happy. But we don't want anybody to see us as the bad guys, because we're there to help.
And you are, and you know, we have painstakingly in our website and other areas where you list exactly what you need to do.
Right.
Exactly what documents you need to have. Exactly, you know. So it's not like, but then again, people don't like it when you say, well, it's right here.
Yeah, I get it. Financial aid can be a very dense pool to wade through. There's a lot of legwork in just applying to see what you might be eligible for. Sometimes even once you've applied, there's more things you have to do. Mm-hmm. So we definitely don't mind breaking it down for folks. Sure. It is listed out on like the MCC website, for example, but sometimes you just need to sit down with somebody and kind of help them lay it out a little easier.
And I think that we also will, it's listed where people will say, or where you tell people what's missing.
Right.
You know, if they're still missing something,
right.
You say, okay, look, we still don't have this.
Right. So a lot of information is available to students on EagleNet. Say, for example, if something's missing that we need from them, it's listed out as requirements on EagleNet. EagleNet's a great resource to see requirements for what we need. Also, once you've completed the process, what you're eligible for. Mm-hmm. You can see like your balance laid out, for example, and then also have your aid factor in. So there's a lot of tools on EagleNet also that students can take advantage of to get a grip on financial aid.
Now, if a student is thinking about getting a loan, what do they need to do?
I would advise them to just come in and talk to us.
Okay.
Some students need help covering the rest of their balances. Say they're eligible for something and it wasn't enough, or say they're not eligible at all, and they just kind of need to look at some options on what maybe they could do. Loans is a great example. I recommend students to just come in and sit down with us, kind of say, hey, I don't know what to do, got any advice, kind of thing. That way, if they are interested in loans and we do go down that route, we can give them the steps of what all they need to do to apply. And then once the application process is over, we can make sure they're aware of what they're eligible for and how that affects their balance for that semester.
Okay. Now, there's some counseling involved in that where you're like, okay, look, do you ever go into, where you're talking to them and say, okay, now remember, this will have to be paid back.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of where we start. So besides just like physically talking with one of us in the office, a part of the student loan application process, they have to go through entrance counseling on the Federal Student Aid website. It kind of lays out what the borrowing process looks like, how much money they could be eligible to borrow, and then a big part of it is what repayment's going to look like. Once they graduate and they're done with school, what repayment monthly will look like. Entrance counseling helps a lot with going over the details of what the loan process looks like.
And do you, even though, how to ask this, even though you might be eligible to get this much money, should you get this much money?
You may not need that much money.
Because at that age, this is how I was. I'm looking at dollar signs. I'm not looking at, I got to pay it back in 4 or 5 years. I'm looking at, hey, I got this much money right now.
Right.
Do you ever have to go, okay?
I mean,
or do you,
definitely.
You give them the information, but they ultimately have to make the decision.
Right, that's exactly it. At the end of the day, it's going to be their decision because they're ultimately the ones borrowing this money and going to have to pay it back. But sometimes, for example, like if a student comes in and says, hey, I think I need to borrow loans, and we look at their account, their whole account may be covered already.
Okay.
So unless they're just needing that loan money for something else, I'll tell them, hey, if you want to borrow this and you need it, that's fine.
And some people, legitimately need it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
so, but yeah, sometimes I do try to rein folks in a little bit just to make sure they're aware of what's going on.
My kids, I'm like, look, I'm just telling you, you're going to borrow this.
Right.
And I don't know what the rules are now, but when I was doing it, and yes, I did take out student loans, but just for tuition and books.
Just what you needed.
Just what I needed. But I believe the rule was 6 months after you graduate is when you have to start paying stuff back. Is it still the same rule?
Right, so there's a grace period after you hopefully graduate, but also just if something came up and you don't enroll again.
Okay.
You do have a few month grace period there, and then payments start back up, which right now we're all still in forbearance due to the pandemic.
I was going to ask.
Right, they've extended that. It was going to be the end of January, but now it's May of this year. Thankfully, people have been able to take advantage of that forbearance in the times of the pandemic when things have been real uncertain. But outside of pandemic times, yeah, that grace period gives you a nice little grace period to get things together once you get graduated.
And they also look at whether when you become employed too. Do they look at that as far as the loan is concerned?
Right. So that can go into some students' repayment. There are income-driven payment plans that some students do. So yeah, once a student gets a job, hopefully even before that grace period ends, that also goes into it as well. Because we want students to be able to start repaying on time. We definitely don't want anyone to go into default or anything like that once repayment starts back up.
Well, listen, I want to thank you for being here today. And it wasn't as bad as you thought, I hope.
I mean,
he asks on camera. But I do want you to come back, and I want to talk about this further, okay?
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Not essential. Never let anyone tell you that again. Never doubt your abilities to make a difference. How do I know this about you? Because I'm a teacher. I am the one who will push you harder and farther than you could have ever imagined. Teach you things that you never thought possible. And if you will give me 100%, then I will stand shoulder to shoulder with you, and together we will change your future. MCC, find your wings.
Welcome back to MCC Today, and I'm not Lowell Martin, but he is our guest right here. We're just going to kind of go off the cuff. The both of us are just going to talk one-on-one with each other since, you know, we had people scheduled and they unfortunately couldn't be here today. So we're just going to have a little fun today. So I'm going to talk to you, Mr. Lowell Martin. Tell me a little bit about student success and what's going on in your neck of the woods.
Student success. At the moment, we are on the second floor of Montgomery, and we are next to the library. Just moved in next to us because our library building, our L.O. Todd Library building, is being refurbished and redone and rezoned and stuff. It's a $1.6 million renovation, and the library and the Success Center will then be together in that building, and I'm hoping that they said the fall. I don't believe that, but it's probably going to be the spring of 2023 that we will be in there, and it is going to be a sight to behold. I'm very pleased with that. But right now we are in Montgomery 219. We have 66 computers available, and if you need to come by and do some work, come there. We have tutors available in English, in math, some sciences. I'm trying to get more science tutors, but right now it's primarily English and math. We can help do some work with chemistry. We can do some work with math in nursing, which is like dosages and things like that. So we help out with all of that. We do study halls. So you will see a lot of athletes over there getting in their study hall hours. And I'm trying to encourage them while they're in there getting their study hall hours to actually study.
Right.
You know, that's
what it's called, study hall.
I had one young man say, I can't wait to get this over, my hours over so I can go to my room and study. And I just kind of looked at him. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's primarily what we do.
All right. So tell me, does this mean, since you're going to be with the library now, does that mean you have to try to stay quiet all day?
Ooh, that has not been determined. The person in charge of the library, Mr. Doug Jernigan, and I are arm wrestling over it. No.
Arm wrestling over it, huh?
No, we are, we will have to be quieter. We're not very loud now, but we do have a lot of small group activity going on. So there's going to be some mumbling, and so it's kind of yet to be determined. We're going to be in separate areas, and I think until we get in there and see, we're going to be quiet. We're going to be studying friendly.
Nice.
And they'll be able to go back and forth, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
And we'll get Doug to come down here, and we'll videotape that arm wrestling.
Please,
for our
please
viewers
do.
at home, just
please
to
do. I've been working
out.
out.
Working out, yes.
No,
so you recently just did the MLK celebration ceremony.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about how that went.
Very pleased. That was Thursday, January 13th. At 1 p.m. in the McCain Theater, and it was streamed live.
It was streamed live.
Very pleased with how it went, and everything, when you're planning something, there's a whole lot that goes into the planning to make it look like it's seamless. And I think I had some great people helping me and working with this. The MLK commemorative committee, did a wonderful job of putting it together. We had the Honorable Judge Thomas here from Okolona, and she spoke and did a great job with that. We also gave out the prizes for our MLK Creative Project Contest, and we had first, second, and third from the high school group, and then first, second, and third from the college and community group. And I think most people were able to come. One young lady who was not able to come because she had been on a mission trip and tested positive for COVID and got stuck for a couple of extra weeks, days in, I don't remember where it was, I want to say Jamaica. But I saw her recently, and she was very upset that she had missed it, but and we also had the a young family. They usually present 3 scholarships, and they did, and Miss Velma Young was there and spoke well. We had some really good speakers, and the singing was phenomenal too. I wish I could say that I did that. I wish I had any musical talent whatsoever. I do not, but I think overall, I think the program went really well. I think it was pretty smooth and seamless. It lasted about an hour.
About an hour, yeah. From my vantage point, it went very well. I was in the back streaming it for all of our viewers that couldn't make it. So,
as you always do, you're always in the back.
Speaking of streaming, we're going to segue right into this. As you know, Lowell is usually the host of this show, and like I said, we just kind of got thrown in together. So, Lowell, let's make it official. Just ask me how the live streaming is going.
How, sir, is the live streaming going?
Terrible. These students don't know what they're doing at all. No, we're actually doing very well. We average about 1,500 to 3,000 viewers per event that we do with our athletics streaming. That athletics site is mcceagles.live if you want to watch any of our athletic streaming. And then we also do streams on YouTube, which is youtube.com/Meridian Community College. You can watch graduations, all of your favorite athletic events, things like that. MLK, Hall of Fame will be coming up. We'll live stream that as well. But it's a way for people to get to see what we do here on campus when they can't make it here to campus. We, of course, invite all of you to come out and watch all of our games. Our basketball team is having one of their better seasons that they've had so far. They play tonight at 6 p.m. in the Graham Gymnasium, so come out and enjoy that. But live streaming wise, we're doing a fairly good job. Say so myself.
Doing a great job.
We get our students here that are all out here behind the cameras, back in the control room. They help run our live streams. You know, they give me the wrap-up sign just like this right now. But they help. And just before we go here, since we're just off the cuff, I want to tell everybody, go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Meridian Community College. Subscribe to us there. You can see all the highlights, everything academic, athletic-wise. We're at 990 subscribers, so we need 10 more to reach that 1,000. If you become our 1,000th subscriber, Lowell will give you a shout-out here on the show. So definitely do that.
I've had a question that I've wanted to ask you for a long time.
I want to ask quick because we got the wrap-up sign about 45 seconds ago.
I know. When do you sleep?
Yeah.
When do you sleep?
I get about 2 hours of sleep a night, and then we're just right back at it. So
okay.
Yeah, we're super wrapped up now. So we thank you all for watching. Lowell, thank you for being our guest, and we will be right back after we switch chairs.
Since 1996, the MCC Foundation Tuition Guarantee Program has provided students an opportunity to find their potential. Thousands of students have benefited from the program. Over $6 million have been invested in the students who learn and live right here in our community. This program is funded by individuals and businesses who believe in our students, our families, and the economic impact of an education at Meridian Community College. Now is your chance to offer support. Give today at meridiancc.edu/give.
On behalf of executive producer Matt Milner, media specialist Josh Taylor, and student producer Ty Burridge, thank you for watching. Hope you learned a little bit, and we'll see you next week.